Mm. Mic check, mic check, 1 2 1 2, mic check, 1 2 1 2. What is good? What is good? What is good, ladies and gentlemen? Of course, you know who I be. Good Doc, Dr. Mike TV, back again. Once again, you already know this one here. Definitely poised to be an instant classic in the making. If this is your first time to the channel, guys, make sure you subscribe and notify and do all the good things to make yourself well versed in the content. Anything and everything you should need to know about me shall be listed in the links in the description area below. If you're in the building right now, make sure you drop your like because this one here is definitely long overdue, right? This one here is probably one of the more interesting videos, live streams, whatever you want to call it. This is probably the one in the arsenal that definitely gonna hit a little different, right? So before we get started, ladies and gentlemen, give me your ones, give me your thumbs to make sure my volume is loud and clear. I repeat, give me some ones, give me some thumbs, so that I make sure that the good doc is coming through loud and clear because I do not want you to miss. Uh, I don't want you to miss any of this shit. I do not want you guys to miss any of this one. So if you guys can hear me, by all means, give me some ones, like I said, and give me some thumbs. All right. When I see them come through, so that I know that my volume is good, I will definitely jump right in. I will not waste your time tonight, gentlemen. This one's definitely interesting to me. It had me thinking a little bit more than I normally do, but we about to lock in. All right. Mm. First things first, gentlemen. If there's one thing that I've learned about Filipinas say the damnedest things, y'all. Philippines say some shit, y'all. And some of the things that they say be like so far off the wall, but sometimes they say some shit that make you think. And ladies and gentlemen, we about to figure out exactly what that particular thing is. So once upon a time, I used to like a girl. Before the good doc got into a whole relationship and shit, I used to like this girl, and I liked this girl a lot. I mean, she was the bee's knees in my opinion, right? I thought she was a cutie, damn sure a baddie in my opinion. I thought she was off. I thought she was everything that I would want in my Filipina, yo. But she rejected me. Got rejected, yo. Her loss, not mine. But she rejected me, right? And I never really ask why. Like when it comes to a girl rejecting me, it's like fuck it, man. I'm used to it, right? So you move on. You move on. As a guy, you're like fuck it, man. So many bitches in this country. I don't need your ass anyway. I could probably get laid by 100 different hoes. I don't need you. But something in my mind said, "Yo, Mike, you really like this girl. Would you at least want to know why she didn't want to rock with you, or why she declined you, or why she rejected you?" So on my head, I sent her a text message. I was like, "Yo," I said, do you not like foreigners or some shit, right? That's what I was thinking. I was like, maybe she don't fuck with foreigners or something. So when I texted her, I was like, yo, I said, do you not date foreigners or something like that? And she was like, no, I date foreigners. But she said I was just too young for her. She said I was really too young for her. That's exactly her excuse why. Now, in the back of my mind, I'm like, bitch, I'm older than you. She had to have been at the time. Let me see. She had to have been, damn, I'm trying to get my age right. I know she's younger than me by at least like 3 to 5 years. She was at least, I had 3 years on her, between 3 and 5 years on her. I was in my early 20s at the time. Not, well, then, not 3 to 5, 20, not early 20s. I can't remember my time frame, but I know that I was older than her. And I'm thinking to myself, baby girl, I'm older than you, so how the fuck am I too young for you? And literally, dead ass, she looked at me and sent this text message. Not she didn't look at me, but she looked and sent this text message to me when I read it. She said, yo, I only date foreigners that are like 50 and older. I said, hold on. I said, back up, boo. Now, this was before I had the concept and understanding of older foreigners, younger foreigners, and stuff like that. This was just me coming into my own. So I was like, bitch, what you mean? I said, so you want to date grandpas? That's what I was fucking with her, right? I says, oh, so you trying to date like your granddaddy or some shit like that? She was like, no, I just like dating older foreigners. And I was like, why is that? She was like, because in my experience, older foreigners do not cheat. Now, I laughed my ass off when I read that. She said, older foreigners do not cheat. Being young at the time, I laughed that shit off, yo. I thought it was the most hilarious thing that I've ever heard in my life. I know the types of guys that come to the foreigners, all of the older gentlemen that I've had experiences with and knowing while I was in the country. Most of them, they had probably two or three women. Hell, some of them had wives. Some of them had baby mamas and girlfriends on the side and shit. But she said that I date older foreigners because older foreigners don't cheat. Now, over the last couple of days, man, we've been having some videos and some content and some interactions about whether Filipinas would choose older or younger foreigners, or the Philippines is now becoming more of a young man's game than how it used to be back in the day, being a game for the older gentlemen. But all that aside, I had to think about that for a second. And if you think about it out loud, ladies and gentlemen, she might not be too far fetched in her assessment of older foreigners. Now, I'm not going to sit there and say that older foreigners can't get multiple girls, right? Let me make sure I make that abundantly clear. I'm never going to say that my older gentlemen who choose to travel to the Philippines can't get as many girls as a young guy can. But for the most part, most of the older gentlemen do seem to come through and settle with one. They do seem to have the general focus to somewhat settle in and focus on one female, or at least one female at a time, right? They'll take care of one female, take care of that one female's family, take care of this, do this for her. And it's usually singularly focused. Now, for my younger guys, like I've talked about in my other video, some of those guys, man, they're out there trying to get it in, trying to get in where they fit in, right? And you're just out there trying to have some fun. So you may talk to two or three girls at a time. That don't mean that the older gentlemen aren't entertaining two or three girls at a time as well. Nor does that mean that a younger guy is not singularly focused on one female at a time. But what it does show me is that we are now entering the mindset of a Filipina that maybe some guys haven't tapped into. I do believe that some Filipinas honestly believe that older foreigners don't cheat. But I would like to flip that and say that older foreigners are likely or less likely to cheat. That would be the best way for me to put it. And it could be for a multitude of different reasons. Maybe the sex drive when you're older is not the same as it was when you're younger. That's 100% fact. But maybe as you age, your mindset changes. You're not so much in the market trying to deal with multiple women at one time. But on the flip side, like I said before, if you're an older gentleman that's come out the game, or you're an older guy that just recently got divorced, or you're not used to, or recently divorced, and you're dating women in the 40s and 50s and shit at that time, if you've only dated women at that level, don't get it twisted, man. You come to the Philippines, y'all, you're probably going to want to relive your youth, right? You're going to want to be in a moment, in an element where you're reliving that vitality, being out there in the streets, man, getting it in, making sure your Cialis and Viagra and all of the robust pills are being put to good use. So on the flip side, when I hear that, I say, baby girl, there's a 50-50 chance you're going to get what you're going to get. Sometimes you may get an older foreigner that's in it to win it, trying to just stick with one, be singularly focused. But on the flip side, you got your older guys who are out there trying to get active, ladies and gentlemen. And when I say active, I'm talking about extremely active. I mean, so active, damn heart about to pump out their chest and shit, because they're back to an element where they can relive what they once were. So I will never blame a man who goes to the Philippines to get it in. I can't. But what I will say is, when a Filipina tells me that I date an older guy because he ain't gonna cheat on me, I have to sit back and wonder, baby girl, can you guarantee that that man ain't gonna cheat on you? There are ways that Filipinas can somewhat guarantee that he's not gonna cheat on you. And the reason we're gonna tap into this part right here is the reason why I wanted to make this video. Right. But before I get into it, y'all, make sure y'all drop that like. Make sure you get in there. Shout out to my man, Mr. Diaz. Appreciate the support, my brother. Babyface not getting rejected because he didn't have gray hair in the picture. Constant money talks. I swear to God, when I'm 50, bro, I may look 30. I can't grow facial hair, man. Y'all know I got alopecia, but I don't give a fuck. Anyways, back to what I was saying, guys. I really started to learn something, and I knew about this a while ago, but I never touched on it ever. Actually, I did, but it was in a video a long time ago that is no longer available for viewing. But I do believe that Filipinos usually entertain and deal with older foreigners, not so much because they believe that these guys are faithful or that they're not going to cheat on them, but the fact that they can manipulate them probably a little bit better than you can manipulate a younger foreigner. A lot of older foreigners be like, Doc, what the fuck you talking about, bro? Ain't none of these hoes in this bitch over here gonna get on me like that, bro. Ain't nobody gonna get over on me. I do believe Filipinos deal with older foreigners probably more so than a younger foreigner because the older foreigners are easier to manipulate. Y'all are very giving and caring people for the most part. Some of y'all are very caring and very giving. And like my man Mr. Diaz says, if you got a pension or you got some money coming in and you know that your money's going to consistently come in and you're not going to lose any money, chances are you may be in a generous mood. It don't necessarily have to be that time of the year, Christmas time or anything, for you to feel like you are in a giving mood. You might just want to give just to give. And I do believe that a Filipino recognizes that they are more likely to get something out of an older foreigner than they are for a younger foreigner. I believe in the comment section on one of my last videos, somebody said that usually the younger foreigners are like broken shit. And, sometimes it's not so much that they penny pinch, but they're somewhat on a budget. Usually our pensionaires or our pension millionaires are the guys that are living off of their pension, my old retirees. Big salute to y'all. Y'all ain't paying attention for shit. So you are more likely to give more money than you would probably get from a younger foreigner. Now, the question of the day is, Doc, how do I define an older foreigner from a younger foreigner? I hate to put age limits on it, but I feel like I'm going to have to. I think I said anywhere between 45 to about 50 and younger would somewhat be the middle to younger foreigners traveling to the Philippines. That's just me. Maybe it's different for y'all, but I kind of feel like anywhere between 45, 50, and younger would probably be considered the younger crowd. And the thing is, I don't know the exact number or the exact age of guys traveling to the Philippines, right? Because if you want to really know what is considered to be a younger foreigner, and I put that in air quotes, you have to understand or at least average out what is the average age of foreigners traveling to the Philippines. I don't know where I could gather that data or that information because it's not as if you take track or age or, list the age of all the guys coming in. But I do believe sincerely that 45 to about 50 and younger would probably constitute somewhat of the younger guys. Maybe. I know 40, between 40 and 50, that'll probably be like your middle aged foreigner. 39 and below, younger. 50 plus and above, maybe would constitute as the older foreigner. Now, I'm not saying you're old, gentlemen. I'm not saying that you can't get as many girls as me. I'm not saying that you can't do anything that I could do because, again, age is nothing more than what a social construct that kind of puts people in boxes and shit. I know somebody 75, 80 years old that's probably in better health than me, right? So it has nothing to do with your age that's going to limit how many girls you're going to get in the Philippines. So I don't want you to think that me putting an age limit on what I would constitute as a younger foreigner is definitely going to be what is going to be younger foreigners, or that, oh, you can't do this because you're the older foreigner, right? So I don't want you to think like that. That's just my thought process in reference to what I would consider to be the younger foreigners traveling to the Philippines. Now, back to what I was saying, man, I do believe that older foreigners are more than likely to be manipulated. They are. They're more generous. Maybe because they have more money, or it could be that maybe they're just mesmerized by the younger young lady. It could be the fact that, yo, I got this 18-year-old girl, 20-year-old girl, 23-year-old young lady on my arm. She asking for something. I know I can afford to give it to her. So why would I not give it to her? I got it like that. And when you got it like that, you really don't put limits and constraints or budgets on anything. And because of that, if a Filipino is aware of that and they know that all they got to do is just blow a little air on your dick or some shit, and all of a sudden you're excited as hell, they may be in a position to be able to ask for things. It's not even booty blindness, but it's more or less they may be in a position to be able to ask for more, right? Now, does that mean that a younger foreigner can't get girls in the Philippines? No. Does that mean that if I am a babyface foreigner like myself, that you can't get girls in the Philippines? Absolutely not. Sometimes girls want to date guys within their own age range, but it is not too far fetched for them to go for guys that are older. They may have their reasons. Like the young lady told me, I'm dating older guys because guess what? Older guys don't cheat. Not that they're less likely to cheat. No, sir. She literally said older guys don't cheat. Older foreigners don't cheat. Maybe she had never been cheated on by an older foreigner, I guess. But her words exactly were older men don't cheat. That's why I choose them over younger guys. Definitely interested to hear what you guys got to say in the comment section, y'all. Go ahead and give it to me, man, because I'm definitely here for the audience, man. It looks like we got 17 in the building, 13 likes. I don't know where your likes are, but you better go ahead and get them in the building. I appreciate y'all locking in. If you want to support in any capacity, man, please feel free to do so. But like I said, I'm happy and blessed y'all choose to come through, spend a little bit of time with your boy today. Now and then, let's go ahead and shout out to the audience, man. Let me start from the beginning. Chosen one, you first in the building. Appreciate you locking in. My brother Kid Dallas, what's good with you, man? Mike, appreciate you locking in, bro. My brother Robert, what's good with you? Mr. Diaz, always love our brother, and I appreciate the support. Seeing what you guys got to say in the chat real quick. My man Big Roy, what's going on with you, pimp? Appreciate you locking in with the homie. All right. Yes, sir. Same brother, different mothers. You know what it is. John Thomas, man, appreciate you coming through. Steve, I see you in the building, bro. What's going on? My man Chosen One says, I'm still young for Filipinas and 45. That's my age. About 45 to 50, kind of sort of still young to me. He said, Filipinos are wired differently. He said, look at Terrence. Oh, I don't know. I'm not familiar with Terrence and Beth, but I know what you mean. I know of the channel name that you're referring to. But yeah, guys, what is old to a Filipina is crazy. I've never seen shit like this in my life. And like I said, Filipinas say the craziest shit. And when she says I date older foreigners because they don't cheat, I'm like, yo, are you saying that they're less likely to cheat or that they don't cheat? And she said they don't cheat. I said, damn, baby girl. I said, who the fuck is you dating? Maybe we in two different rounds. Two different types of people. Shout out to my brother Pedro, man. Always locking in. My man, Mr. Diaz says, older men know how to not get caught cheating. You know what? It's either that they don't cheat or they're very good at not getting caught. But I do believe that Filipinas, in this manipulative nature that may be accompanying the reasons why they choose older guys, I kind of feel like they probably know how to go through guys' phones, or they know all the tricks and the stunts that they could do to catch a guy up in a lie. I want to share with you guys this story real quick because I think it is noteworthy in reference to the topic at hand. So there's a gentleman that my father knows. He's about the age of 55, and we'll say his girl is about 25. Okay. So we'll say he's 55, the foreigner, and his girl that he's married to is 25. I recently found out that his girl found out that he was talking and cheating on her because she put phones in different parts of the houses and bedrooms and recorded the conversations. Marinate on that for a second. She put phones or recording devices in different rooms where he's likely to go to sneak off and try to have a conversation with another female that she is well aware that he's actually talking to. And she was just listening. So, riddle me this, Batman. If I know that I can get away with sneaking phones into different rooms or recording devices in different rooms, first of all, it lets you further know Filipinos are not as dumb as some of y'all think. And number two, it goes to show the lengths that some of these women will go through to get you caught up. So if there's even a whiff of fucking infidelity to some of these women, oh, they gonna go balls to the wall on you. And there ain't nothing you can do about it, right? So I do believe that they probably know tricks of the trade that would probably have them find out the actual truth when it comes to dealing with older foreigners, especially if the older foreigner isn't technologically savvy or the guy isn't out there in the streets that really knows how to hide and do, things to, hide or disguise or make his shit invisible and make sure the data's not being saved through a cell phone chat and all of that shit. That pays dividends, yo. So they may deal with older foreigners from that manipulative standpoint so that they can track their foreigner and they will know if he's cheating or not. And he is less likely to cheat if he know that his girl could probably find ways to find out if he's cheating or not. Right? 15 in the building, man. Y'all make sure y'all drop that like. But yeah, they may be smart enough not to get caught too, man. That could be a thing. My man says, of course they know how to manipulate. He said they're women. mm. Let us not forget manipulation is a woman thing, I guess. My man Robert said, "Does it ain't tricking if you got it applied, Robert? You know it does apply, bro." And like I said, my pensioners, man, the guys that are making it rain, it ain't gonna hurt them to spend a couple $100 on their girl. That ain't shit to them. That's light work. That's money they probably wipe their ass with what they probably sent to their girl. So I know that usually dealing because they're a little bit more generous because their money goes probably a little bit longer, or it's perceived that their money goes a little bit longer. Guess what? You can honestly come to a conclusion that I can see why some young Filipinas will probably date older men. I'm not going to sit there and say, oh, they don't love him. They only love their money. A lot of guys will say that shit. I'm not in that realm. But I do believe that there is probably more of a, how can I say this? They see the bigger benefit dealing with an older guy than probably a younger dude. Now, don't get it twisted, man. Younger guys such as myself and all of my brothers out there in the world, shout out to all my young brethren. We out here making money, millions and millions of dollars through cryptocurrencies. And, we're learning the stock market and we're learning how to do digital nomadic work. And we're out here really finding ways to create our own wealth and at a faster, rapid rate, especially since working from home careers are now a thing and we're really good with computers and we're good at doing shit. So we're finding ways to make massive amounts of money. Of course, I ain't quite a millionaire in cryptocurrency yet, but because of that, you start to understand, yo, that could definitely lead to some of the younger wealth coming from the younger expats coming into the market. Now, my older guys, shout out to all y'all, man, and especially my brother Robert. You guys, if you're not into cryptocurrency, you're just sticking it out with the stock market, right? We're just, we're just living off of our dividends made through the stock market over so many years and shit, and trying to get into cryptocurrency and stuff. Some would consider that to be a young man's game. So because they consider it to be a young man's game, they're probably just going to stick it out with their stocks. Talking about my older retirees, because cryptocurrency is still a risky bet, no matter how you slice it. We can sit there and say, yo, Bitcoin going to hit 100,000. Who knows when it's going to hit 100,000? That shit could be years from now. Could be longer than your life expectancy, with all due respect. So, my older gentlemen are probably going to stick to more safe bets, right? We retired, man. So we ain't going to worry about that one. But our younger guys, our younger cats, the more daredevilish type of foreigners, the more risky, the more, yo, I'm about to make this money. I'm about to make it rain so I can retire early. I'm not going to sit there and worry about no fucking pension, no social security. Fuck all that. You got people like me who ain't going to wait until the age of retirement to actually make it rain. These are the guys y'all got to compete with now. Your social media influencers, your newbies trying to come into the country. These are the guys that the older gentlemen got to deal with them. Luckily, my path to the Philippines wasn't directly related to, oh, I made money here and that's how I made it work. I actually had an opportunity to go to school, learn the culture, and really find a love for the country. But on the flip side of that, we can't overlook the fact that we got some younger guys in the market out there that's really, really making it work. Now, how it really works out, guys, I guess that's dependent on the individual. But there's so many things going on in the world today that could lead to there being an even balance of older and younger foreigners traveling to and or choosing to congregate in the country for a little while longer than most. Now, let's not forget the fact that the infrastructure in the Philippines and the internet is not the greatest of all time. So who knows? Maybe they're just in it to, have a little fun and then they're going to cash out. But yes, Robert, it ain't tricking if you got it. In conclusion, bar girls love me until the old man walks in. I see it all the time. It's all good, man. He said older guys don't care anymore if they're manipulated by young women, and that's true. The older guys don't give a fuck. At that point, they're just in it to have their fun. I realize that. I think it hurts worse to a younger foreigner like myself if a Filipina tries to play me because I'm still relatively young. So yeah, I'm gonna be in my feelings if some chick try to come up off me. Like, yo, bitch, how dare you think you gonna come up off me? Older guys, they charge into the game, man. They're like, look, as long as you tickle my pickle, baby, I'm good. You can do whatever the fuck you want. You can try to manipulate me. At this point, I was gonna pay you for services rendered anyways. So sometimes that's just the way that it is. A lot of the older guys don't really care, and I agree with that 100%. Yo, 18, 17 of y'all in the building, man. If you haven't dropped your like, Doc would highly appreciate that one. Don't leave me hanging with the likes now. We having a dope ass show tonight. So comment in the chat box right now. Let me get to it. But make sure y'all don't forget y'all likes, is what I'm saying. My man says Filipinos go crazy for the Koreans. Koreans definitely get the best. Yes, I will always say that Koreans are probably the most desired foreigners in the country. I will say that with I will say that with the utmost confidence, man. Filipinas, no, Koreans are the most desirable foreigner that the Filipinas are after right now. Koreans get it all. Oh, them motherfuckers get it. Like I seen with my eye, bro. You ain't never lie, bro. I see that shit with my eyes all the time. They get some of the baddest women. Doesn't matter if you're Korean, you definitely have a leg up above all foreigners, in my opinion. I don't care if you're black, don't care if you're white, don't care if you're Hispanic or whatever other foreigner, European or whatever the fuck you're from. I don't care. Those Koreans got a leg up on all of y'all. They got a leg up over the Chinese and also the Japanese guys too. Koreans do something different to these women. I'm willing to accept it because it hasn't hurt my punani game at all. But yeah, it does work that way. Most of them are actually pretty fucking cool people, man. If you get a chance to kick it with them. He says, I know I'm considered old. He said, I won't let the women know because I look younger. Either way, she's getting the pipe late night, no cash. You gotta take care of her, man. I'm not asking you to trick and treat, but gotta make sure she stay fed. Make sure she got a little money to leave the spot when you wanted to get the hell up out of there. I mean, gotta be. I would think you would want to at least give it that. Mm. My man, Mr. Diaz says, when I was stationed in South Korea, it was the same way. The older men had multiple women and fine women. They had both Korean and Filipino girlfriends. Yeah, that sounds about right. My brother was stationed in Korea for a long ass time. As a matter of fact, my brother is there right now. He had a duty station there probably about a couple of years back, probably a little bit longer than that. But after he got out the military, he decided to stay in Korea long term. So definitely looking to check that out. I've heard some things, and it's time for me to scope that scene, y'all. I'm telling you, time for me to scope the scene. But yeah, the older guys do have their way. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Ain't nothing wrong with it. He said, I've heard that too before. That one girl interviewed last week said the exact same thing. There seems to be a general consensus amongst these women that be out in these streets, man. That's all I'm gonna say, man. There seems to be some general consistencies that a lot of guys need to pay attention to. Whether you pay attention to it or not, it is not up to me. All I can do is give you guys the information. All I can do is have the conversation and pray that you guys read between the lines. Can't tell you what to do, can't tell you what you go and do. All I know is that if the information is there and you're hearing it from me and other sources, maybe it's something you should take into consideration. Yep. Mm. One man says smart woman. Motherfucker, bro. Them girls is manipulative as hell, bro. I ain't playing with you. Gotta be careful. Girl has just recording devices in all the rooms where he used to be sneaking off to have conversations with his extra girl. Yeah, that brother's caught now, man. And like I said, I do believe that, and I hate to say this because I don't want my older brethren out here to look crazy or think that Doc think talking brazy about any of y'all, but I do believe that they think older foreigners, like I said, are easy to manipulate and that they're not as tech savvy to get around what they know about using computers and shit like that, or using technological devices, recording devices, and cellular phones and shit. Shit crazy out here. Globe Master, what's going on? You said, what's up, man? He said, just got in. So I'm 13 years older than my Filipina. Does that make me a bob? Does that make me a bobcat? Ah, man, don't worry about it, bro. 13 years is actually relatively reserved for the age gaps that I've seen a lot of relationships. As I told you before, the guy that I was talking about, 50 fucking five, and his girlfriend, I'm sorry, let me take that back. His wife and mother to two of his kids is 25. Marinate on that, my boy. That 30 years age difference. Like I said, you're relatively reserved at the 13-year age gap, Cersei. You should have nothing to worry about. But, ladies and gentlemen, back to what I was saying, y'all. Filipina told me she dates older guys because they don't cheat. I was taken aback. I was hurt because she rejected me because I was too young. Not to mention I was older than her, but I was too young for her. Because guess what? Age is something but a number. I guess age means a lot nowadays, man. My man said she probably put in a baby monitor, bro. Whatever it was, I can't remember exactly, but yeah, she probably she got to the boy. I know that. CJ, what's up, man? He says better question is, do younger Filipinos cheat with younger foreigners behind the older foreigners' back? That is by far a very, very loaded fucking question. That's all I'm gonna tell you, bro. That is a loaded question. Um, I honestly, I'll put it to you like this, man. I'll put it to you like this. In my own opinion, y'all, I do not represent the opinions of everybody in this chat. I'm only speaking for myself. Okay. I do believe that that could potentially be a factor only if the older guy is not sexually active. If he's not putting it down in his older age with the Cialises and the Viagras and all that shit that be on the market, if he ain't putting it down, I do believe that could potentially be I wouldn't say a cause of concern, but it could definitely be something to think about. Um, I don't care what people say. The intimacy of any relationship is definitely important. I will never say that it's everything of a relationship, but it's definitely important. And Filipinos like to get it in. I don't care what nobody says. Don't let this shy, reserved, oh, I don't know, I've never done things like this. Don't let that shit fool you, man. Filipinos like fuck like everybody else does, bro. With all due respect now. So with that being said, y'all, it's like if you're not putting it down in your older years, I'll put it to you like that, if her sex drive, especially when you're dealing with a younger one, if the sex drive of a younger Filipina is still there and it's not tamed yet, chances are she's gonna be walking around here in heat. And I wouldn't necessarily say that it would be a younger foreigner, but it could be local guy, bro. Likely, it's probably more or less a local guy than it'll probably be a younger foreigner. You know, um, I've I've told you guys time and time again. I've definitely played the third party in quite a few situations in my past. Do I give a fuck? Absolutely not. Because at that time I was a reckless guy. But it is what it is, man. At that point, going back to what we talked about before, some of these older guys don't care as long as they're getting what they want out of the situation. It may not even be sexually based, but as long as they're getting what they need out of the situation from that particular Filipina, guess what? Chances are they're going to be all right. Chances are the foreigner's not even going to worry too much about what she's doing outside of it as long as she's doing what she needs to do for him. Like I said, if she's tickling that pickle like she's supposed to, I think you'll be okay. That's all I'm gonna say. Yo, 20 in the building, bro. If y'all ain't at 20 likes right now, I'm mad as hell, y'all. Don't do me that dirty, bro. Yo, if we don't at least get to 20 likes or more, and we at 18 right now, don't do your boy that dirty. Right? We got 20 in the building. Let's make sure we get that. He said we love crypto too. He said we don't do stonks. Seems like crypto is the way to go, man. My man, at least you give her trike fair. Okay, that's fair. Dang it, you don't leave her hanging, bro. I mean, make sure she's good at least. Shout out to my brother Jermaine. What's up with you, bro? He said, is South Korea the number one country for Filipino overseas workers? Is it the number one country? I think they find themselves more so in the Middle East, but I do believe the most desirable destination would probably be Korea. If they had a chance to choose where they wanted to go, it'd probably be Korea or Japan, for sure. But they probably would make more money in the Middle East. Mm. My man says I was at Camp KFC in Korea. The most beautiful Filipinas work there. That's why I went to the Philippines. But when I actually came to the Philippines, I was a tad bit disappointed. Yes, sir, because the way that those Filipinas are in Korea are nowhere near what Filipinos look like in real life. Right? Kind of felt catfish, didn't you, bro? I get it. I get it 100%. Sometimes you might feel a little catfish, but it's okay, my boy. We live it. We gonna make it happen. We gonna make it happen, all right? I think you might feel catfish because I think I would feel catfish, right? It's kind of like mask fish. Now, it's kind of like what masked fish is for us in this, day and age where everybody's wearing face masks and stuff, right? You get to see what their eyes look like and shit. You be like, damn, baby girl, beautiful as hell. She take her mask off, baby girl, like a straight up fucking gremlin. Yeah, it's kind of the same thing. I wouldn't say the Filipinos look like gremlins, but I would say that you're not necessarily going to get the same quality. Well, yeah, no, yeah, we can say that the same quality of Filipina that you're going to find in Korea that you're going to find in the Philippines, right? You're not going to get the same quality for sure. That's number one. And number two, you have to understand that all these ladies are probably striving to have this pure white skin. Damn it, skin so white you can see through that bitch. With the glutathiones and all of that shit. But like I said, some of that stuff fails to resonate, right? So sometimes it just doesn't necessarily translate well. If you darker than me, love, just leave the glutathione alone because you're gonna look like Michael Jackson post Villalago. Shout out to Mike, man. I love them, Jay. Anyways, he said some of these older guys be hating on younger guys. Sometimes they do. And also I do have Steve, you bring up a great point, man. There is somewhat of a conflict between older and younger foreigners, and I think it comes a lot with how they choose to handle themselves when they're abroad. Maybe your older guys have a way of thinking or a way of doing things as opposed to the younger guy does now. So now all of a sudden it's like, man, I don't like the way this younger dude is walking around this country. I don't like the way he's doing things. I don't like the way he's doing that. And as a result, it creates an unnecessary conflict. Even though we can all eat, we can all get ours, and we don't have to worry about any overlap. We shouldn't have to worry about any overlap. Unfortunately, there is just this territorial type of mentality that you're going to experience with a lot of foreigners most of the time. I hate to say it, it does happen more so with your older guys. I remember when a lot of my foreigners were coming into Davao. When I used to see them in Davao, when I felt like they were at least close to my age, I used to be like, yo, what's up, man? Like, yo, let's go hang out. Let's go chill, man. I'll show you around Davao. I'm good for that, right? Shout out to my white brethren out there. Let me tell you the truth. There was this white guy that came to Davao. We were in SM Davao, just hanging out and shit. And we went to the Starbucks, man. He was getting all the looks and shit. I said, yeah. I said, I gotta hang out with this motherfucker because he gonna probably scoop me up some bad bitches. Like, if we can at least get 4 or 5 of them in a circle and shit, I said I could at least scoop one, right? Being the foreigners and shit and looking the way that we did. I felt like it was a dope thing. So for me, it was more or less a collaborative effort, if that's the way you want to say it. I mean, between me and the other guy that was with me. Sometimes to an extent, not to sound rude or disrespectful, for some of my older guys that have been in the Philippines for a certain amount of time, maybe they 10 years, 13 years, 15 years in the game in the city, and they're gonna sit there and try to sit down the young buck and have a conversation with him about how he needs to move and navigate in his city, because that's the way they like to play it. They be like, this is my city. You know what I'm saying? This is my city. This is how we do it in my city. Because I've been here longer than you, so I'm gonna teach y'all bitches the rope. Sometimes you get that type of energy and it's unnecessary. Like, I honestly believe you're going to have that issue in Dumageddon, man. I do believe that you're going to have that. I think you're likely going to have issues like that in places like Dumageddon, where a lot of the older expats usually try to settle in at, and they kind of got a way of doing things. And you younger guys coming through and fucking it up for them could be an issue, y'all. Just letting you know. 16 in the building, ladies and gentlemen. Hope y'all locking in with the good doc, man. Y'all already know what to do. If you have not, please feel free to smash that like button. Make sure you caress, molested, and distressed. Doc would highly appreciate that. Again, guys, if you want to support in any capacity, if you're enjoying this show just a little bit more and you want to put a little bit on the good doc's books, I would highly appreciate that. But like I said, man, I'm happy and blessed that y'all come through and spend some time with the boy today. Now you're on then. Let's get to it, man. Let's see. Are we down at the bottom? Not yet, not yet. Y'all seeming to have conversation with yourself, so I'm letting y'all I'm letting y'all have that conversation. My man said there's still a lot of fine women in Manila. Don't ever get it twisted, man. Manila's still a dope spot to go. I personally choose Davao. Hey, some people love me, some people hate me for my city of choice. If I want to get reckless and I want to act up and shit, I'll go to Manila. I'll go to Cebu or someplace like that. But if I want to be reserved because too many people know me around my city, I'm gonna be on my best behavior in Davao. So it's kind of how it's supposed to work, right? So yeah, I like going to Manila every now and again. Just have a little fun. But other than that, I'm pretty much a cool reserve type of individual when it comes to spending time in like Davao and shit. My man says, I think I'm the youngest foreigner here in Cagayan de Oro. All these dudes, late 50s to 70s, are about as friendly as a hooker that didn't get paid. Bro, yo, that's fucking funny, bro. That's actually pretty fucking funny. They about as friendlier as a hooker that didn't get paid. Somebody in the cut like, yo, bitch, you better have my money. Pay me what you owe me. Damn. But they do be you talked about it in the live stream, and if you guys didn't catch that video with my brother Oscar, man, that was a great fucking live show. A lot of information, man. I pray that you guys get a chance to lock into it. You guys are looking to travel to the Philippines. Great show to actually lock into. It was my last live stream that I posted, so you make sure you guys check that out. But yeah, man, I can see a lot of the older guys maybe not being well, they could have some, I don't want to call it hatred and animosity, but I do want to call it a little bit of angst, we'll say, towards the younger guys that are traveling in now, because it's not because well, actually, even chosen one, man, you was getting on it too. Remember, you were like, you bitches don't know shit about what it was like to be in the Philippines during these lockdowns, and maybe there's a lot of guys who share that same sentiment. That's exactly what I'm thinking. Oscar, what you're going through with the issues and the looks and shit, it's probably because, oh, y'all bitches want to come now after the lockdowns are over and shit, but y'all know what it was like to struggle in these streets, son. Huh? Y'all don't know what it was like to be on these lockdowns 24/7, only being able to go out once a week and, not being able to go out on Sunday and having to do QR codes and having to have these passes and quarantine passes just to fucking go out and do shit. Other than that, I'm sitting at my home, sitting on my ass, bitch. Yeah, I do believe that that probably is where a lot of that animosity may come from. And it could be why a lot of foreigners may not rock with a lot of the newer guys coming into the country. New guys meaning older and younger foreigners. So, with all due respect, hey, it is what it is, though. It's a reality. And I think that's something that, you know, we all have to accept and respect. Like I said, I really didn't come to the Philippines to make friends. I got my older brother, I got my father. That's pretty much all I ever needed. Like I said, I built a nice little Filipino community for myself while I'm in Davao, so I'm pretty much locked in. I don't really need to go around and fucking be buddy buddy with foreigners if they don't want to fuck with me. But that doesn't mean that I'm not gonna sit there and dap you up or shake your hand or say hi to you if I ever see you in the city. And I pray that some of y'all come through Davao and say, yo, let me go holler at Doc real quick. Mm? Try my best to show you a good time. Introduce you to some of the girls I went to school with. I bet you that'll show you a very, very, very good time. I'm gonna hook you up, man. Try my best to at least. um, my man says you want to know how to make her horrible. Oh, don't pay her. You might be onto something there, sir. You might be onto something. He said I even said hi to a bunch of these dudes and nope, just a look, and they just kept pushing. Well, Oscar, you can't please them all, bro. You can't please them all. At the end of the day, man, it's kind of like I wouldn't waste my time either at all. Wouldn't waste my time. I wouldn't waste my time trying to be friendly to people that I know don't want to be friendly back. So I'm with you on that one. He said did see some Caucasian dude begging for money and that's him here. Damn, that's tough. When the pension money runs out, baby, what are we gonna do? When the pension money runs out, what are we gonna do? You know what? A lot of people ask me this question. Y'all haven't asked me this question, but I've had this question asked to me a lot. People were like, yo, Doc, why did you get into cryptocurrency, or why did you get into investing in stocks and stuff? Because at the time, it was literally the farthest thing away from my mom. I watched this YouTube video when this dude told me, yo, by the time that I'm able to hit the age of Social Security, he said Social Security is not going to exist anymore. There's not going to be enough money in the fund to support me via Social Security by the time I am of age. That's what I heard. And I was like, so you mean to tell me that this Social Security money is drying up? So I can't rely on that. And then he was having talks about how 401ks aren't enough to really support you as well. So I said, damn, I'm going to work a job, and my 401k ain't going to work for me either. And then they were having conversations about this and that. And then they said, yo, this is what you should do with your money, and get in touch with people who know what the fuck they doing, and do it. And that's pretty much how I started investing. I started investing that day, right? And I told y'all, man, I'm not waiting till 60 fucking five to get to a part of my life where I want to retire. I'm traveling every year that I possibly can. That's first and foremost. Second, outside of traveling every year that I possibly fucking can, what I'm also going to do is I'm going to sit back, I'm going to relax, and I'm going to enjoy myself at my younger years. I'm not going to wait until, like I said, 55 or 60 before I decide to do something. I'm probably not going to make it to retirement at all. I'm not going to make it to retirement age before I actually do what I want to do. That's why I'm putting everything into place right now. So 10 years down the line, I'm looking to retire. People look at me like I'm crazy. I'm like, yeah, I know that sounds crazy. Doc's gonna. I'm not practicing fire. I don't like to use that, but I'm in a position where I feel like if I keep doing what I'm doing in the next 5 years, 5 years, your boy's gonna be in a position to be financially well off to the point where he don't have to work anymore if he doesn't want to. So I hope you guys have that at least same mindset, man, for sure. He says, damn, old buddy was begging for 3 years. That's tough, man. Somebody need to get his ass to the consulate or the embassy so that man can get taken care of and out the country, man. God dang, man, you gonna sit there and beg like a biatch. I said, look, man, ain't nothing worse than when you're caught having to beg. I mean, some people ain't too proud to beg, but I'll be like, damn, bro, like it's gotta be worth more than that, man, for sure. He said, which country other than Western countries are younger men desired over older men? Which country other than Western countries are younger men desired over older men? Besides Western countries. Hmm. I'm actually trying to think, and I don't think there is that I'm aware of. Younger men desired over older men. I don't think you can find one. Very few. Very few. Outside of Western countries, I'm thinking Europe is still considered Western world. I'm looking at places like India in my head. I'm looking at places like Russia and places like that. How do they feel about younger guys and older men? I mean, I don't know. It's a hard one to say. I would think that if you're in Russia, you might do all right as a younger guy. I don't know if Russia is considered Western world, though. Probably not. But I would probably say Russia, someplace like that. Mm. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I've tapped in on everything that I wanted to talk about on the subject. If you guys have anything else that you want to say, man, I'll be glad to talk and politic with you guys. Questions, comments, concerns. I don't think that anybody should be pressed about younger foreigners coming to the Philippines, first and foremost. I don't think anybody should worry about the older guys in the country. I just think that we should all just be able to get along. Trust me. I'm not worried about your girls. I got my own. I can tell you that right now. And I don't think that you should be worried about the girls that I get because they ain't gonna never be your girls, right? So unless you're trying to stun on somebody and trying to take over, I ain't worried about it. But at the end of the day, gents, just wanted to have this conversation, man. At the end of the day, what can I conclude from this particular live stream? Rejection sucks. I can start there, man. Getting rejected because you were too young. That was actually a reality check for me, right? I mean, I've been rejected because I wasn't attractive enough to a young lady or a girl just wasn't interested in me, but I never thought that my age would be what would prevent a girl from trying to talk to me, even when I was older than her. Right? It wasn't by much. I had to say like 3 to 5 years or something like that. But yeah, she might have been 18. I might have been like 21. I know I was trying to age it out. I just couldn't remember. But like I said, guys, you win some, you lose some, but this is definitely live and learn. I had fun. My experiences in the Philippines probably will be in the top of my mind till the day that I die, even though I'll be visiting new countries in the months to come for sure. Exploring new alternatives and places to go for sure. I'm just not gonna worry my head around all that other shit. Ain't gonna worry about it. All right. I appreciate y'all locking in. Appreciate y'all showing some love. Unless you guys got anything to say, man, I'll let y'all rock out, man. But if you do ask the question though, do they prefer older or younger? I hate to ask, or I hate to kind of put it in your mind that a Filipina actually has a preference. Honestly, everybody has a preference, but I really don't think it's a preference of whether it's older or younger. Sometimes they really just go for the guys that go for them, and they go for the guys that they seemingly genuinely have a connection with. They don't care if you're 50, 60, 70, 80. Some of them don't care if you're 25, you know? So I've learned over time that preferences change with Filipinas because it's like the old saying goes, and this is not really an old saying, but if you think about it out loud, are you going to wait around for the guy that may or may not come, or are you going to sit there and deal with the one that's right in front of you right now? If the person in front of you is genuinely trying to get to know you, but maybe you never dated a black guy and he just so happens to be black, are you going to turn him down and wait for the white guy now when he's genuinely trying to get to know you? Probably not, right? So I feel like it is somewhat of being at the right place at the right time. Sometimes you'll have a girl sit in the cut and be like, yo, I'm just gonna wait for my knight in shining armor. I'm gonna wait for my guy who said he was gonna travel 5 years ago to come see me. You may say that, but for the most part, I just kind of feel like if you're there, it's very rare that they're not gonna give you a chance unless they have an age preference of dating an older guy over a younger guy. Sometimes that's very much an easy thing to overcome. I just didn't try to overcome it because I didn't feel like putting in the effort that it would take to actually overcome the fact that she had this ageist mentality towards me. She wasn't racist, she was ageist. Ain't that a bitch? Didn't even know that was a thing until today. Rejection is definitely part of the game, brother. I'm used to it by now. Once a person deals with rejection, talking becomes easy. Very true. I agree 100%. One problem with youth is you're not at the point where you're financially secure to retire for the next 40 years. That's true. That's definitely the caveats. We're definitely not ready to retire yet, right? I do believe that a lot of us are still reckless with our finances. We haven't somewhat created a budget for ourselves to be able to live off of that budget for at least the next 20, 30, 40 years of our retirement years. We haven't thought that far ahead. A lot of us have not thought that far ahead. I know I have, but a lot of us in our 20s, early 30s maybe have not thought about what we're going to be and where we're going to be in the next 30 or the next 40, right? And the reason we don't think that way is because we feel like the money we're making is going to be infinite, right? We don't really believe it's going to be finite or finite or finite. Yeah, finite, the best way to put it. We think that we're going to be able to create and make this money for the rest of our lives. And, when you're thinking that way, your mind may be focused more on the materials, right? The things you can acquire now. And you're not necessarily requiring assets, but more or less acquiring liabilities, right? So when you're not thinking that way, or when you're not thinking about, yo, I need to be acquiring things that are going to build my wealth over time. Or if I like it, yo, how can I make money off of it? If you can't come up with an answer, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? You're not ready to retire. If you can't put it in your mind what your definitive checkout number is, it's not gonna help you, bro. Trust me. If you can't figure out your definitive checkout number, what number I need to retire, if you don't at least have that in your head, you're in trouble. Okay. So that's just something to think about. And you're right, the younger guys don't have that mindset. I agree. My man says most older expats are poor or becoming poorer if they're relying on, not taking into consideration inflation and stuff like that. That could be a definite thought process as well. He said most older expats are poor, younger people starting to have more, but Filipinos don't understand. Nah, the older foreigner was always the guy that was looked at upon for security. The older expat in the Philippines was always the secure guy, the reliable guy, the one who had their finances together. Sometimes they are definitely the ones that are hurting for certain in the money department. Something to think about. But like you said, Filipinos will never understand that. He says, I'm ageist. I'm not dealing with any woman over 30. And you have every right to be ageist, sir. You have every right to be ageist. All right. Hopefully, crypto really takes off in the next 10 years because I feel it's too late for stocks. I do invest in stocks only because I like dividend investing. I like being able to take the money that I earn through dividends and putting it back, reinvesting and stuff like that, but also taking the money earned from there, putting them in the crypto as well. So I do believe that crypto is more or less a young man's game, and that's where a lot of us are going to find our wealth. Sounds crazy, y'all. I know, but I do believe that in the next 10 years or so, this is where a lot of us are going to find our wealth in cryptocurrency. In cryptocurrency, for sure. Benefits of youth, you can start planning early. Jermaine, I think we all need to start having an early plan. Unfortunately, a lot of us don't have that mindset, man, and that's where we fuck up a lot. As a whole, you got people right now, Jermaine, I'm not exactly sure how old you are, my brother, but I can tell you right now, there's a lot of us in the early mid 20s, mid 30s that are clearing 100 plus thousand a year, but they're still broke as fuck. Make that make sense, man. Mm, make that shit make sense. How is it that a bunch of us between 25 and 35 can clear 100, 120,000 in a career, mind you, and still be broke? That, my friends, is a wealth mindset I don't want. I'm trying to retire early, y'all. I'm tired of this shit. I'm tired of this shit. I can't be here much longer, my boy. Goddamn. I love working, and I'm not gonna retire anytime soon because I think I get lazy. But sometimes it just ain't worth it, bro. I'd rather be in the Philippines, man. Shit, like everybody else, or even if not the Philippines, I'd rather be kicking it with my brother in Korea, or I'd rather be, hanging out and enjoying myself in other places and shit. This shit is tough, man. So yeah, Robert, like I said, I invest in stocks. I have never completely given up on it. I've just only chosen like 5 to 6 plays that I want to stay focused on. That way I can really pour in a lot of money as opposed to having a dividend portfolio or a stock portfolio, dividend and growth that has like fucking 20 or 30 stocks in there, man. I'm like, bro, I'm not about to spread myself that thin. Okay, I'm not about to do it unless I can see there being a big push really soon on something. Chances are I'm not gonna worry about it. Uh, oh, by the way, guys, stock tip of the day. Stock tip of the day. I talked about this one with my brother, Mr. Diaz. Super Bowl night. I talked about this one. If you guys are not looking into SoFi, I don't know what the stock ticker is, but SOFI, SoFi or Sophie, look into that right now. They have an earnings report coming out on March 1 that I think will probably push the stock up very soon. Put it on your watch list. You ain't gotta buy it. It's only about $12 and some change now. Sophie or SoFi. You guys remember that was the stadium that they played in LA? All the exposure that SoFi or Sophie is getting right now. I do believe that's gonna make that stock run up, y'all. I'm not playing with y'all, man. Y'all better look into it. Okay? Look into it, my boy. Look into it. Sophie, SoFi, whatever that damn stock is. Put it on your watch list. Cause it's an institution that's allowed to like loan money out and shit like that. They got their license to be considered an online financial institution or some shit like that. They get their money from Bank of America and Wells Fargo. Trying to remember all the information that I was doing. I can't remember the shit, but some shit like that, right? But yeah, man, I just like the idea. It's never too late for stocks, man. He said the new older dudes are into crypto stocks, bonds, gold, silver, property, and savings. Property, yes. Savings, yes. Maybe a little bit of gold. No bonds, no silvers. Definitely stocks, cryptocurrency for me. I think I'm more aggressive in the property area. I really need some property, y'all. That's the only thing I don't have that I'm missing in my portfolio. I want property, not land. Well, land, but I want property, something I can rent out, something I can add to the portfolio. I got savings, I need more gold. I got stocks, got crypto, man. But yeah, he said, give me Bitcoin or give me death. It's all or nothing. If you're all in on Bitcoin, I ain't mad at you. He says, it depends on where you live. I clear 156K for living in an expensive part of California, so that money is not all that. Yeah, I heard a lot of the people from California are moving to Texas, though. I think Texas is a little bit more people friendly, tax friendly, and all that shit. So I think Elon Musk take his whole Tesla facility down there straight out of Cali. So I do believe there are people moving to Texas to, save a little bit in taxes and shit. So. But I get it though. I understand what you mean. California is expensive as hell. But I feel like in that moment though, you gotta really start thinking about quality of life and what you can live with and live without. I just don't think there's a lot of people out there willing to think about that. Chester, I appreciate it, man. I'm gonna try my best to keep it pushing. My man says learn options trading. He said you'll be surprised how much money I make off of options. I made $2,600 today. Mr. Diaz, bro, I'm very, very. I need to know that shit like the back of my hand before I commit to it, boy. Golly, that's a riskier bet than crypto. Fucking trading on margin and shit. Damn, I don't know if that's for me. I mean, I consider it. Don't get it twisted, bro. I consider it, but I need a teacher. I need somebody to tell me, yo, either I need somebody to tell me exactly what to buy, or I need a legit teacher to tell me what I'm looking for. Because if I'm looking at the Fibonacci triangle, or if I'm looking at candlesticks and shit all day long, it's a lot, man. It's a lot, right? So I understand, man. But you can lose a lot too, bro. That's what I'm like. You can win a lot, but you can lose a lot if you don't know what you're doing. And I'm the type of motherfucker, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. Sir, what's up, man? He said trading is where it's at, but many people get wrecked. I'm afraid I'm one of those guys, right? I'm afraid I'm the guy that's gonna get fucked in the ass royally. Big pause. But I'm not pausing. Because yeah, I feel like I'm that guy. I'm not gonna win. I'm in a position not to deal with it, but I may do it because I'm greedy like that. If I knew how to do what I was doing, I'll do it. He said if they get on to raising interest rates, people will buy bonds, at least a portion. If gold ever comes down in value, I do believe gold will be a viable option as well. Dallas Metroplex is booming right now. Yeah, man, I think like I said, a lot of people are moving down to Texas, man. Texas is where it's at. Hell, I even wanted to go down to Houston, man. They got some jobs down there for a boy like me, man, and they pay pretty well. Hey, man, we're going to talk about that one, man. We got to talk about that one. I would really be interested in it. But like I said, your boy ain't got a lot of money to put into it. So, we'll figure it out, man. I'd be willing to learn, though. I'll tell you the truth, man. I've been liquidated before, and it's not a good feeling. See, that's what I want to avoid, sir. I don't want to be the guy that puts it all on the line, and fucking the margins go crazy against me, not with me, you know? And there are a lot of people out there teaching margins trading and teaching trading and options trading and stuff like that. There's a guy who day trades all the, like, I think that's all he does for a living. Dude's been killing it since day one. But they always want to show the gains and never the losses, man. I said, I want to see the losses too. I want you to show me, yo, motherfucker, I lose. I want to see you lose. Not because I want you to lose, but I want to know that you know how to bounce back from an L, right? Because if you're going to teach me, you got to teach me how to bounce back from L's too, because I'm pretty sure. I bet my bottom dollar I'm going to take an L every now and again, because I mean, you can't always win, guys. It's the truth, and the truth shall set you free. As long as my wins are bigger than my losses, ladies and gentlemen, as long as the outcome is income, y'all know the shirt, I'll be good with it. But yeah, we'll figure that out soon enough, y'all. We'll figure that out soon enough. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys enjoyed the live stream. If you did, drop that like on the way out. I appreciate you guys locking in. You guys have been the best audience in YouTube history. Y'all know better than that. Doc has the greatest group of people on God's green earth that actually choose to lock into him every time he decides to come through and pop off a little bit. Okay. So to all of my silent partners out there, the individuals in the background who just sit here and listen to the good Doc vibe and have fun and all of that shit. Thank you guys for listening in. Okay. Appreciate you. Right. You don't know what you do for the channel. You don't have to say anything. You say everything without saying anything at all. So I love y'all. Thank you for being in the background. Thank y'all. Thank you guys for listening in. I appreciate you. If nobody told you that they love you, the Doc is telling you that he loves you. Okay? No homo. Big pause for all my brothers out there. But I love y'all, man. Y'all make my channel everything that it needs to be. That's number one. To all of my brethren who choose to participate with the good Doc in the chat, man, keep that live stream going, keep the conversation going. Converse with your guys, converse within yourselves, within the chat, guys. Thank y'all for locking in with the good Doc, man. This has been one of the greatest live streams, communities of all times, and nobody could ever tell me any different. Okay, so I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Hey, like I said, brother, I'm willing to give it a try. If options trading is something that I can live, like I don't mind doing the shit. I really don't. I want to do it. Sounds like fun, but I do not want to get started on anything unless I'm ready to take the L. That's all I'm gonna say. All right. He said, "Man, I'm cheap as fuck. I only invest $1,000 every 2 months in options, and I'm flipping that 1,000 many, many times over." Okay. He said, "I don't use margins. I'm still making money from that 1K from December." Hey, let's go. You sound like you got a plan, and as long as you got a plan for the Doc, hey, say less. Shout out to my man Will the Beast, man. Appreciate you locking in. Doc's gonna always keep it cooking. You know what it is. And hey, like I said, if you talk about money, you're speaking my language too. That's why my favorite color is green. That's why I wear this shirt a lot when it comes to the live streams. All right. Shout out to my man Red. All right, guys. You know what? Time for you guys to go on, man. Go to bed. Do whatever the fuck you got to do with your lives. Love you guys. Come back tomorrow, man. We might do a live show. We might do a live Q&A. I owe you guys a Q&A. Just ask questions and answers because I was going to give it to you a couple of days back, but I had some things that I had to do, so I couldn't get to it. So we'll probably do the Q&A tomorrow if I don't have a live stream subject. So I appreciate y'all locking in, man. Until the next time, man, it's time for the good Doc to go and get the getting. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, good Doc is officially out. I at least knuckle, which means I am going now. Bye-bye. As always, love you guys. Sincerely do. Makita. Bye-bye. Peace.